We're back at Big Brucie's kitchen. Making some, what are we gonna call it?
Cribs.
Brucie's
Yeah.
blackberry barbecue ribs. Smoked. Anyways, so for the dry rub, we're gonna start off with the dry rub, let it marinate for, it's almost 3 o'clock now, so probably like 2 hours. You can let ribs marinate in the dry rub, or depending on the marinade, for 8 to 12 hours overnight, depending on what it is. I'm just gonna do quick 2-3 hours. Get that flavor kind of infused into the ribs, and then put it out on the smoker for an hour and a half. My simple dry rub. There's 1,000 different dry rubs. You can use whatever. This is just a basic one that I'm going to use for these ribs while they're smoking on the grill for an hour and a half. Brown sugar, smoked paprika, some garlic powder, fresh ground pepper, onion flakes. We got cayenne pepper, white pepper, ground mustard, and coarse kosher salt. Alright, putting the dry rub in. Dump it. This is going to be a lot, actually. This is probably way too much for just 3 racks of ribs. Whatever. Put it to the side. Use it later if you want to sprinkle it on once it's all done. Whisk it up. Pack the brown sugar. That's another thing. Brown sugar's packed. You can tell because it's f***ing stuck in the whisk. Mush it, whatever, get a fork, I don't care. So I should have broken up the brown sugar beforehand, so I didn't have this issue. But whatever, it happens. This is the dry rub. Sprinkle it on liberally. We want a nice crust. Once this is all done smoking, look at that, it's got a nice, thick crust. It's gonna caramelize, real nice, front and back, always. Do the other 2 because we're doing 3. Ooh, rub the meat. Get in there. Some people do a little pat down, try and get it in there. Good point. So I've been massaging it with this hand. I'm not going to dip it back in there because if you want to, use it as, like if you don't make a barbecue sauce and you want to sprinkle it on once it's all done, the rub or the spice, don't double dip. This hand's perfectly clean. This hand is not. So just sprinkle it. That's why Google cross-contamination. You're not going to cross-contaminate, get anybody sick. Now we're just going to wait for them to marinate and listen to some relaxing music by Brucie.
You gotta serenade them so that they tenderize.
Yeah, you gotta serenade your ribs.
You gotta serenade your marinade. That's it.
Good trick. Your cutting board so it doesn't f***ing slide around. Take a wet paper towel. Loser! Put it down. Slap your cutting board on it. Won't slip. Making the barbecue sauce, black cherry barbecue sauce. Take a half an onion. Throw in a saute pan or a saucepan, whatever. Saute it in some butter for 3 minutes. We want these to be translucent, a little golden. Get all the flavors and the aromatics of the onion come out. Now that our onions have started browning a little bit, starting to become translucent, you can add the garlic, add your pepper and your seasonings and whatever else in about a minute. Throw in your garlic. Keep sauteing, using butter. Oh, can you smell that? Can you? Can you smell that?
Yes.
Now's a good time. Throw in your paprika, your pepper. Get that cooking up while it's sauteing. Just kind of go for a second. Alright, now they've sauteed for about 3 minutes in the seasoning. Put your beer aside. Grab your peppers. Make a lot of noise in the background. Do whatever. It's all good. Let that go for another couple of minutes. 3 cups of ketchup for our barbecue sauce. You'll let this simmer for a minute. Let everything kind of come together.
Please, use your flash.
Number 5. Let's bring it to the sauce. Let's talk about the flavors a little bit. We got the onions, kind of hot, kind of earthy. We've got garlic, kind of earthy, kind of spicy. Ketchup's kind of sweet. We have chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Heat, smoky. Kind of get everything we can into this barbecue sauce. Take some Worcestershire, put it in there, get that going. This, take your light, I'm using light soy sauce, so I'm going to use the double amount, I guess. It's kind of not as salty. 2 tablespoons. Done. Take a half cup of honey. Let that drizzle in there. It's also going to thicken it up. Honey's got kind of a sweet floral flavor. Add your splash of whiskey now. You can add it later, whatever. Don't use this whiskey, it's gross, but whatever.
You can drink some.
You could. Right.
It didn't look that way.
God. Now's a great time to open your beer. Thank God. Cherry's gonna add its own kind of tart, sweet flavor. Special, it's nice. Let this simmer for half an hour to an hour. It's been simmering for, what would you say?
Probably like 45 minutes, an
45
hour at this
minutes.
point.
Black cherries are kind of mush at this point, so once I put it into the blender, or if you have an immersion blender like I do, it's going to become the consistency that I want it. If you want to, I don't have any mason jars with me right now. You can put the rest aside and it will last in the fridge for another several weeks. So my own sauce is kind of spicy, but there are always people in the world that are intolerant to heat. What you can do is, I told you, I'll put at the end of the episode, I guess, on how much of each ingredient I used. So you can kind of go with what you can kind of go with what you feel on that. You can use half of the amount of heat, or you can go double the amount of sweet, I guess, if you want to do that. These are applewood chunks. They've been soaking for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour. They're going to give the pork ribs kind of a nice appley flavor. You can soak them in apple cider vinegar to even enhance it a little bit. From the last video, we learned about shears. At least the audience did, so
Cheers.
so cheers. So I'm going to smoke these at, I don't know, 250, 300. Kind of hot and fast. You can smoke ribs for maybe 4 hours on 225, 250. As much as I don't want to say it, you could also put your ribs in the oven for about an hour and a half, bake them, they'll get nice and tender, baste them again, put them back in the oven for maybe 20 minutes on, I don't know, 350. You could also boil the ribs for about an hour and a half. Let it come up to a boil, put the ribs in, that'll drop the temperature of the water, and then once that happens, bring it up to kind of a simmer. There'll be kind of a film that'll develop on the surface of the water. Skim that off. We don't want that. Nobody wants any scum on their ribs. Skim that off about an hour and a half. Once that happens, it'll be super juicy. Make the water real salty, like salt water, like the ocean water. Once you're done boiling the ribs for an hour and a half or so, if you have a grill, put them in the grill or sear them on the grill, get that nice crust. Or put them in the oven, do the same thing. Lather it with barbecue sauce, get that nice glaze going. It'll be awesome. It's time to start the grill.
Good thing you have no lemon.
So, last half hour of the fridge, or out of the fridge while these are marinating. Take them out, let them come to room temperature. Once everything's room temperature, it'll be more evenly cooked. You don't want cold meat, ever. So I've got 3 racks of ribs going on indirect heat. I've got 2 clumps of apple wood right here, right in the middle, starting to smoke it. So indirect heat, I'm going to put 1 rack here, 1 rack here, 1 rack right on the top, because, you know, it's a relatively small grill. Take that, right on, listen to that sizzle. The other, put it on. I'm going to have to rotate these probably every 30 minutes. There is a cheers on this show, so when I say cheers, you're at home drinking, and I say cheers, you cheers. So that means, every time I say cheers, you gotta account for that many drinks. So that's 4 for us, that's 4 for you. Listen, put it kind of in the middle, it'll be a little, you know, a little sear in the middle, kind of work it a little bit, you know. Rotate that around. It's been what? It's been, I don't know, 30.
It's been maybe like 20, 25 minutes.
Wait until these ribs are done.
I really can't either.
They're recording and you gotta immerse your blender into your barbecue sauce, you know what I'm saying? Add a little bit of water. My stunt guy can't even laugh. Oh my
Did you say you're a stunt guy? You have a stunt man?
It's my stunt double. My stunt double, Zach.
What?
He and I both look exactly alike.
Hold on a second. Let's just pan over this way right quick. And zoom on in.
It's my stunt double, Zach. He's mysterious. Alright, so where are we? We're about still about 325. Woo! Yeah! Turn them ribs. Keep that going. Look at these. Look at that crust. The dry rub that I added, still making that nice crust. See the little pockets of fat and sugar. Sure enough. Oh my god. Question that was asked. How do I know when to start basting the ribs? The meat will start pulling away from the ends of the bones and it will start caramelizing because with the rub with the brown sugar on it, and it will start pulling together, start crisping up. You'll see. It's time for another beef. That's it. That's all I wanted. So you know, it's starting to pull away from the bones. Turns out, brush, I have nothing to baste with, so I'm gonna take fucking spoonfuls of my black cherry barbecue sauce. This is what I'm gonna do. Ready? Get into this. Oh, spread that around. Oh. A little bit more. We got a lot, so. Oh. Woo! We're at Big Brucie's. Look at these f***ing ribs. Big Brucie's. What are we calling them? Big Brucie's black cherry barbecue baby back ribs. Have them. I'm gonna put the recipe in there somewhere at some point.
How many beers deep are you?
So many beers, so many Bud Lights.
At least 13.
Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna start doing. I got an idea to do a whiskey every week, or at least one beer every week, as far as tasting it and complimenting it, and you know, kind of explaining what it tastes like. Leave me a comment on what you think I should review, I guess is the best word. Try these ribs. I'm going to leave the recipe. Either way, go with what you feel. We're at Big Brucie's Kitchen. I want to see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Just like a pasta, that's all.